on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The update presented by the Sportscast.
Welcome to the Sportscast, September 8th, 2024. If you haven't yet, please subscribe in all our channels, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Apple Podcast. You can also listen to us on your smart speaker. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave a rating and a review. It will help us out tremendously. We're also on online radio. You can listen to it on our website, thesportscast.net. Also on the app, the Sportscast for iOS, which you can get in the iOS App Store. It is the first day of school feeling. It is NFL Week 1. It was a huge weekend. A lot of surprises, a lot of news before that first Sunday game. Of course, there was games on Thursday and Friday in Brazil. And join us. It's been a long 8 months. Dan Madden, welcome back to the Sportscast.
Yeah, good to be back. Excited to talk some football, but after this weekend, I'm somewhat ready for it to be over. Wasn't the best weekend for my teams this weekend, for sure.
Exactly, for a lot of teams. But Dan, tell us about your offseason, and it's been a long 8 months since the Super Bowl in February. How was your offseason?
It was great. Spending a lot of time with my family and kids. Enjoyed the summer. I got a 2 and a 4-year-old, so doing many trips to the lake and doing the big Disney trip here down to Florida here in the next couple of weeks. So excited to do that. But yeah, just fun with the family and watching baseball. But excited to watch football again.
You're a Cleveland. They changed the name.
Guardians now. I still call them the Indians, but we still have the Braves. But well, that's another discussion for another day. But yeah, no, they're in doing well, first place right now. So I got one Cleveland team doing well right now. So
there you have it, Cleveland in the radar. Let's go into this past week 1. Before we got up, actually, when I was getting up going to church and everything, there were headlines going straight. First, it was a Bill Belichick wants to go to return coaching if it's the right fit. But the biggest news before that 1 o'clock games with Dak Prescott renewing his contract, 4-year, $240 million extension, Cowboys quarterback for a couple years. What are your thoughts over that extension, Mr. Madden?
Well, my initial thought was that was too much money, but then compared to what Watson's getting on the other side, we saw how much of a steal that was from the head-to-head. So maybe it's not too much, but he got it done and it gave him some extra motivation to go and show that he's worth it. But we'll see how much he's worth it if he can get some closer to the Super Bowl and ultimately win one.
I was thinking that he would have got that extension until next season, but they got it a couple hours before. CeeDee Lamb got his contract a few weeks before, and I was asking everyone, I think Dak's next. But I didn't see an extension the morning of. Have you ever seen a player getting signed before that game 1 of the season?
No, that's the first time. Yeah, the timing was interesting. I think it was probably strategic. They didn't want that weighing on Dak's head, having to press and, worrying about if he's going to get an extension. And, that's one thing you can just cross off and just go out and play ball. And, from the first game, it looks like it worked.
It definitely worked out. And of course, Tom Brady in the booth. So definitely was pretty good. Anyways, after that news, I think it was like half an hour after, Dan. I don't remember exactly, but Madness in Miami, Tyreek Hill got arrested for a traffic action. He got handcuffed and everything right before the game, about a couple hours. This was crazy. I didn't see this happening, but what were your thoughts over the whole situation?
Yeah, I think I texted you the screenshot, like what is going on here? And, you didn't have much details and, more things will be coming out. But, I was wondering, is he even going to be able to play? I mean, see him in handcuffs and the stills, and it's like, what happened? I mean, is he going to jail? But ultimately, they resolved it, and he went out and had an 80-yard touchdown catch, and he did well, and did a handcuff celebratory pose in the end zone celebration too. So, we'll see. There's investigations, as you said earlier, to see what exactly happened that caused him to get pinned down.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's all I'd say on that.
Yeah, everything's still under investigation. I think I got a press release earlier, about an hour or 2 hours ago, that there was a dilemma from Tyreek Hill, causing some disturbance, verbal stuff, I hear, but it's under investigation. We'll find out in a few days and weeks. But did not stop him. He did play. As Dan said, we thought he was not going to play. I didn't think he was going to play, but he did play. He scored a touchdown, so that did help him out. Did the celebration, as Dan said. But it was a crazy week one. I can't think of anything else. I think those two stories pretty much made it happen.
Yeah, no, I listened to Adam Schefter. He said that on opening day, nothing has this many headlines before the kickoff. So that's added some excitement to opening day for sure.
Adam Schefter definitely loved these type of stories, by the way. Also want to, before I move on from the Dak Prescott, we did talk about this before. Do you think Mike McCarthy's next to get a contract renewal? Because he only has one more year left this season.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, the writing seems to be on the wall. I mean, why would you give Dak this big extension, knowing that maybe you will get rid of McCarthy? I mean, the head coach likes to have his guy in there and his scheme. So ultimately, I mean, who's going to want to take the job? Maybe it doesn't fit their scheme. I mean, yeah, Dak's a good quarterback, but I think the writing's on the wall that this was a step to say, we're going to re-sign McCarthy.
So no Coach Prime next season with the Cowboys.
No, well, what he's doing in Colorado, I don't know if anyone will want him. I mean, it seems like smoke and mirrors. I mean, to be honest, a lot of hype.
Yeah, a lot of hype. So we'll see what happens with Colorado and the Cowboys. But Dan, are you ready to recap week one?
Yeah,
of the
let's
NFL
do it.
2024 season. All right, let's go with the first game. Panthers and Saints. Derek Carr passed for 3 touchdowns, Dan, and the New Orleans Saints scored on their first 9 possessions in their 47-10 victory over the Carolina Panthers yesterday.
Yeah, so the Saints, I mean, Carr lit it up. I mean, he's having a resurgence. I mean, and, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, I think, this year. Whether they can make it all the way, that's to be determined. I doubt it. But the Panthers, I mean, like the Browns, they're searching for a quarterback. I mean, they got it wrong in this pick. And they're going to be drafting another quarterback first pick next year because that's where they're headed.
Which there is a couple of them in the docket. That guy from Texas is pretty good, by the way. Anyways, Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams each ran for 2 touchdowns. Running back Blake Grupe kicked 4 field goals. A lot of field goal kicks yesterday. Boswell from the Steelers scored a lot too. 2 from beyond 50 yards. An extraordinary debut for the Saints offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. Remember Clint? Anyways, by the way, what you think about the new kickoff rules?
It's taken some getting used to, like just seeing everyone stand there and like not running. I just can't believe that no one's moved. I mean, I was watching a lot of games and just out of habit, because you're always, as soon as it's kicked, you're ready to run. And but it's opening for some. There's some good kickoff returns that typically you wouldn't see gain a lot of yards. So I mean, I think it makes the game more interesting.
I think there were 2 touchdowns. Anyways, we'll definitely observe that. But no one has moved. If people move, I guess they get a penalty. We'll find out because I haven't seen it yet. Let's go to New York City. Sam Darnold threw for 2 touchdown passes, Dan, in a highly efficient performance. And Andrew Van Ginkel scored on a spectacular one, handed a 10-yard interception return to lead the Minnesota Vikings to an easy 28-6 victory over the woeful Giants on Sunday. Did you see that pass of Daniel Jones? An interception, but it felt like a very passing thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I tell you what, I mean, coming into this, when J.J. McCarthy got hurt, I mean, you kind of like, oh, man, the Vikings, who are they going to put? But Sam Darnold, I mean, another resurgence. I mean, he went out and shows that he can still throw the ball around. And the Giants, I mean, what do you say? I mean, they're the quarterback. I mean, Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson, they're going to go head-to-head this year, and it's going to be the battle of the worst deal in NFL history. So they're looking for a quarterback. They're going to have a rough year.
Looking forward to that game. By the way, do you remember the Sam Darnold used to play for the Jets in New York?
Yeah, no, I know it. Yeah, so
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into this other game. Another surprise, but maybe not. Ramondre Stevenson rushed for 120 yards and a first quarter touchdown. Joey Sly kicked 3 field goals in, and the Patriots won. Jared Mayo's debut as coach, beating the mistake-prone Cincinnati Bengals 16-10. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is definitely a surprise. I mean, everyone says that the Bengals always start slow, and we'll see. I mean, they're going to need some more from Burrow. His wrist seemed to be bothering him. He was moving it several times, so whether he's injured or not, but he's going to have to do more than 5.7 yards an attempt. Doesn't get any easier next week going to Arrowhead. And I like Brissett. He's a game manager. I think he can keep them in games with good defense. They'll be in it.
And Jared Mayo, coach of the Patriots, got a catering shower yesterday. So they definitely like him over there here. Yeah,
no, that's good. He won over his team, and it'll be interesting to see what they do moving forward.
Steelers show Justin Fields. Another news that morning. We kind of knew what was happening. Russell Wilson was not going to start. He had a calf injury. But it was Justin Fields' show. Stepped on to lead the Steelers to an 18-10 victory over the Atlanta Falcons, who also has a new quarterback, with a big assist from Chris, the kicker, Boswell, strong right leg. Boswell booted 6 field goals, Dan. 3 of them longer than 50 yards, and the Steelers made life miserable for Kirk Cousins in his first game as Atlanta's big money quarterback.
Yeah, it's just somewhat of a boring game. I guess the most interesting thing is seeing Russell Wilson sitting on the sidelines, knowing he's not going to play, all geared up, and he was almost ready, saying, I'm the guy here, and I'm going to be here next week. They've yet to name a quarterback moving forward, but they're going to have to do better, whoever it is on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, you can't rely on field goal kicks to win games playing against a better team. And Cousins is, he's brushing off the cobwebs, a new system, getting used to it. He fumbled the ball a couple times. So look for him to bounce back once he gets comfortable here in a couple weeks.
I bet you prefer Kirk Cousins than Deshaun Watson, don't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. he could throw the ball further than like 7 yards.
Let's go to Indianapolis, a little far from us. Stephon Diggs caught 2 touchdowns, Dan, passes, and Joe Mixon, great pickup, rushed 159 yards, and another score Sunday to help the Houston Texans close out 29-27 victory over the Indianapolis Colts with Richardson.
Yeah, so the Texans have me a little salty because they got good with all the Browns picks, but we won't talk about that. But no, I mean, adding Mixon with Stroud, I mean, that's just a 1-2 punch. They got the weapons on the outside, explosive plays, and they're going to be tough to beat.
Definitely tough to beat. Texans, everyone's talking about it. They get the buzz. We'll see what happens in the AFC South. Let's go into Buffalo. The Arizona Cardinals were up by 2 touchdowns then. If you did not check the red zone, Josh Allen had 3 of his 4 touchdowns in the second half. The Bills overcame a 14-point deficit to defeat the Cardinals 34-28. These are 2 big hitter teams.
Yeah, no, definitely. It definitely was a good game. I mean, I think neither team can really hang their head low. I mean, they both played well. Josh Allen played very well. But overall, I think both teams, have a good squad, and I think they're going to be tough. Bill's schedule is really tough, though. I mean, I texted you. I mean, their schedule's tough.
They play Miami Thursday.
Yeah. They got to come back and play Miami. They got a really tough schedule, and I tease this to you. I mean, if they don't do well this year, I mean, there's a good chance I think that Belichick becomes the coach next year.
It might be a chance. He said he only goes to a team that's worth it. Buffalo is worth it because he got Josh Allen. AFC East is very familiar with. So we'll see what happens in Buffalo and maybe Belichick. Let's go to Chicago. Caleb Williams, rookie, had a rough debut for Chicago, but got paled out by his defense with Tyreek Stevenson returning an interception, 43 yards for the go-ahead touchdown to give the Bears a 24-17 victory over the Tennessee Titans yesterday. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I was kind of shocked, when it was 17-0 that the Bears would be able to come back and win, but their defense stepped up. I mean, Williams, not a big fan, but he did enough with the defense. He was a little rusty and, didn't hit a lot of his throws, but his legs bailed him out, extended plays on third down a few times. So overall, the defense won this game, and we'll see what he'll do moving forward.
Yeah, the rookie Williams, number 1 overall pick, finished 14 of 29 for 93 yards with a 55.7 passer rating. He is a Heisman Trophy winner, so we'll see what happens in Chicago. A lot of high hopes there. Let's go to Miami. The whole Tyreek situation happened, but did not slow them down. Jason Sanders nailed a 52-yard field goal as time expired, and the Miami Dolphins rallied past the Jaguars 20-17 on Sunday to win their fourth straight season opener. Tua Tagovailoa threw for 336 yards in the touchdown, and Miami on an 8-play, 31-yard drive over the final 2 minutes. But the Jacksonville Jaguars were up by 21-7. No, 17-0. I think at one point.
Yeah, no, I that was surprising, but too many weapons. I mean, between Waddle and Tyreek, I mean, they're really gelling well together. Tua's hitting them in stride, and just 2 explosive guys on the outside there. Lawrence had a pretty good game, but I think moving forward, he's got to be better.
He's got to be better. You got to win those games in the East Coast of Florida. Let's go to the AFC West. Lastly, let's go to Seattle. Seattle. Kenneth Walker III rushed for 84 of his 103 yards and a touchdown in his second half, and the Seahawks overcame a mistake-filled first half to beat the Denver Broncos 26-20 on Sunday in the debut of new coach Mike Macdonald.
Yeah, that was a little surprising. I figured, Denver, would be able to. They had a little spark in the quarterback. I just figured that they would come out and win. Close game, but Seattle pulled off.
Bo Nix, is he the real deal?
I think so. I really do. He has flashes, and I think he'll only get better as the year goes on.
A lot of experience in college. I don't see why not. Let's go to Los Angeles. J.K. Dobbins. I forgot about him. Used to play for the Ravens. Rushed for 135 yards, Dan, including a 12-yard touchdown, and the Chargers had a successful debut under Jim Harbaugh. Yes, Jim Harbaugh, as they rallied in the second half for a 22-10 victory over Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, this is Jim Harbaugh at his best. Ground and pound game. I mean, running with Dobbins and relying on his defense. And that's what he's going to do. Obviously, he's the real deal. I mean, we saw what happened in Michigan without him this week playing a premier opponent. They got whacked. So, I think that's going to be his recipe. Just rely on your defense and run the ball and pick down the field when you want to go down.
All 10 of Dobbins' carries came in this second half. It was the 5th 100-yard rushing game for J.K., who signed a 1-year deal with the Chargers during the offseason after beginning his career in Baltimore. Do you think this team can beat the Chiefs?
No. No, it's the Chiefs. Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. I mean, they had receivers from Study Hall last year. Now they got Worthy and Hollywood Brown. I mean, there's no way.
Yeah, and Rashid Rice. I'm not sure who's Rice number one, but Worthy could be up there.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. The Chargers look pretty good, and I think Herbert is feeling comfortable. Okay, here's another. Oh, yeah, Cowboys. Let's go Cowboys, Browns. Dak Prescott.
No, we have to talk about it.
Threw a touchdown pass hours after agreeing to a 4-year, $240 million contract with the Cowboys. The Cowboys defense roughed up Deshaun Watson, as Tom Brady also was saying in his return, throttling the Cleveland Browns 33-17 in their opener Sunday. Dan, the floor is yours. What happened there?
Yeah, no, it was very disappointing, but not surprised. I mean, Deshaun Watson, I mean, he just looks lost out there. Now he wants to blame it. He lost his father, and I understand that. But, I mean, he's missing wide open receivers. Yeah, he didn't have a lot of protection. Missing 2 starting linemen. Couldn't run the ball. But I mean, he's throwing it to CD Lamb on the sideline that he actually caught the ball and nowhere near his receivers. His receivers seem frustrated with him. I mean, this is a guy that we're paying $230 million to. You should be able to make simple throws, and he's overthrowing people. And they had no answers for Micah Parsons. And the Cowboys, I mean, they're tough. They got CD Lamb. I mean, he was explosive. They were getting him on the sweep routes, out deep, slants. And you throw in a kicker. This guy kicked a 66-yard field goal that went in, and it only got called back because of a penalty. You throw in that with a kicker that could kick that, they're in every game. And I mean, they could be contenders. I mean, you throw all that together, their defense, if Dak plays like he did, when you throw in that kicker, they're not out of game. I mean, he could kick a 66-yard field goal. So they're in every game. And where do the Browns go moving forward? I don't think the answer is Deshaun Watson. I wish they would have kept Flacco, put Winston in. Anybody, I think, can do better to rejuvenate these offense. And the play calling's just stale. I mean, I don't know why we have an offensive coordinator when Stefanski still calls the play. They bring in Dorsey to be the offensive coordinator. What does he do if he's calling the play? Sorry, I'm getting mad here. I'm going to start throwing mics and stuff. So, but
apparently they brought Ken Dorsey because he gets along with Deshaun. Is that like what I was hearing?
They were going to try to develop him, and he gets along with Deshaun. But I mean, I haven't seen anything that he's been developed. And this brings a point: is why don't we play in the preseason? All the starters sat. Deshaun Watson didn't play in the preseason. I understand protecting guys, but you could see the rust if you haven't played in game situations. So I blame that on the coaching. They should have played at least a half in the preseason to get some of these kinks out. And obviously, it's showing. And my last comment here: they renamed the Browns Stadium. Huntington Bank actually invested money to put their name on their stadium. And right now I'm thinking that, they maybe want to get their money back if there's a 30-day refusal. Maybe Dude Wipes is interested in sponsorship. I think that would go better right now. So,
what's the name?
That's all I got to say.
No, it's good. What's the name of that elf in the middle of the field?
I'm not sure. I don't know. An elf, I guess.
It's a little mascot.
Mask. Yeah.
Like, he looks very elfy, but
I forget.
That's okay.
And the name escapes me right now.
Here's another Browns reference. Baker Mayfield, who I think Madden preferred him to say, threw for 289 yards and 4 touchdowns to lead the Buccaneers to a 37 any route of the new look Washington Commanders with the NFL debut of number 2 overall draft pick Jaden Daniels. Your thoughts over this matchup?
Yeah, no, Watson. Mayfield outperformed Watson. I mean, you put their numbers. I mean, he had 248 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, he is shining down there. Granted, he's got some good weapons, but look out for Tampa Bay. And I think Jaden Daniels. I mean, I think he's the real deal. I don't think he's going to be a bust. I think he's going to continue to get better. And I think there's high hopes there in Washington.
And Cliff Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator for the Commanders, so quite interesting. Mm-hmm. Haaland was more effective in the running the ball than passing, so we'll see what happens. Also scoring a pair of rushing touchdowns for Washington, so it's a fresh start. Commanders look promising. The Bucs, Mike Evans with that late hand catch. I mean, he's not aging. I don't see it. Do you see it?
No, not at all. Yeah, he seems like he's like a fine wine. He gets better with age,
Exactly. He's looking good. The Bucs are looking very promising. So we'll see what happens with that division, because now the Saints and the Bucs doing well. It should be pretty exciting season. Yeah. Let's go Sunday Night Football. Dave Montgomery, 1-yard touchdown run in overtime. I think it was the only overtime game of the weekend. Lifted the Lions to his 26-20 over the Matthew Stafford-led Los Angeles Rams on Sunday night in a rematch of their NFC wild card game. Your thoughts over this?
Yeah, no, Detroit pulled it off. I mean, Stafford played well. Other than he had 317 yards, but he had a costly turnover in the first half down in the red zone. It came back to bite him here. But I think the Lions are tough. I mean, especially with Williams, the receiver coming along from Alabama. I mean, he's really playing well, and you put him with St. Brown. I mean, they're going to have two guys on the outside for teams to have to defend, and that's going to be a problem. And Puka Nakua got hurt for the Rams, so that's concerning for them. I haven't heard anything on the timetable, but that's not good news for a big weapon there for Staff.
Yeah, it'll definitely be all Cooper Kupp in the next couple of weeks. A couple of injuries, not much, not like major injuries or a few, but like the major stars. Josh Allen has a bad right hand or left hand, so he might be questionable for Thursday. He'll probably play though, knowing him.
I would think so.
Yeah, and other players that got injured, nothing too severe, but we do have tonight's game where Aaron Rodgers with the Jets, who got injured a year ago, I think on Monday night, after 4 snaps, go to San Francisco, which they have a good field apparently. I have not heard any. I have heard complaints about Levi Field in the past, so don't get me wrong, but not as bad as like MetLife in New York. But tonight, the New York Jets visit San Francisco. Aaron Rodgers' dream team to play for was San Francisco 49ers. Wanted to play there. I think he grew up there, actually. What do you think is going to happen tonight, Mr. Tan? CMC should be playing tonight, too.
Yeah, so I just think San Francisco has too many weapons. I don't think they're going to be able, with Rodgers coming back, I mean, being not played in a year, I just don't know. It's going to take them some time to get the feel back in the flow of the game. I don't think they're going to be able to put enough points on the board to match San Francisco.
Jets also has a good defense, by the way. They got Breece Hall.
Yep.
Could slow him down, but we'll see what happens. I got San Francisco winning in San Francisco. Brock Purdy also up in contract situation, probably next offseason. I don't think they're going to do anything during the season, but he's also
get paid. He's going to get paid.
You didn't get paid. Brandon, you got paid last week ago. So there's no more contract disputes. Only Jamar Chase, I think. He's the only one in limbo.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Chase. I mean, I would say the Browns to go get him, but you have to have a quarterback that can throw him the ball. So I don't even know if that would work. So.
I don't think he wants to go up the road. But
the Browns have $60 million in cap space right now, so they need to do something.
Yeah, I think Prescott gets paid $51 million a week. Is that the right number I've been reading? I think so. I think he gets a surmountable amount per week.
Yeah. And an $80 million signing bonus. Too.
Oh my gosh. Well, you can do it with all that money in Texas. That's just you can just buy an oil rig, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, NFL week 1 was it met my expectations. There's one more game tonight, but if it had to end like last night, I thought it was great. I know for you Browns fan, not so much, but I thought it was a lot of excitement. I'm glad the season's back. The kickoff, not too many complaints. We're still learning it. We're still getting used to. But what are your thoughts over week 1 overall?
No, I think there was a lot of good games. It seemed like there was, some meaningful games this year. Some good meaningful games. I think the scheduling was good. So it was an exciting week 1 for sure.
Definitely week 1. Pretty excited what's going to happen tonight. Dan, what is the best way to reach you online to ask you, hey, should I go to a Browns game this year?
Yeah, you can reach me on X, Danimal2478, or you can look me up on Facebook under Dan Madden.
There you have it. And you could reach us at the Sportscast1 on X and Instagram, and also the website, thesportscast.net. We got Victor Rocho this Thursday. He's going to talk about the Giants. He didn't have too many positive things to say yesterday with Daniel Jones. So they're also in the same situation as you guys. So it's going to be a long season for the Browns and the Giants. But anyways, looking forward to tonight. Also this Thursday, Miami versus Buffalo. So, hey, the NFL never ceases on giving some good stuff. Anyways, Dan, I appreciate you coming on to the Sportscast.
Yeah, sure thing. Good to be back.
And this was your update.